gospodarczej Pollena w Nowym Dworze. Załoga specjalizuje się w produkcji popularnych mydeł Karat i Zefir oraz proszków do prania Bis, Pollena i Pollena.
This chemical plant used to be owned by the state. In those days, more than 700 people worked in the factory. Today, it's privatized. Only half of the workforce is left, but production has more than doubled. Poland in the mid-80s, a part of communist Eastern Europe. The state controlled the economy. Polish consumers were forced to stand in queues outside shops. In 1990, it all changed. Communism was replaced by democracy and market reforms. The new liberal Polish government decreased public sector dramatically and started to privatize the state-owned companies. Another part of the new economic policy was the convertibility of the Polish currency. In a short time, the zloty was made convertible. This shock therapy changed the country into a market economy with foreign competition faster than any other country in Eastern Europe. In the beginning of the 90s, a number of modern shopping centers have opened in Warsaw. The competition on the consumer market has increased rapidly. Western imported goods compete on the shelves with products made in Poland. In this competition, a great part of the Polish industry had to shut down. To survive, former state companies had to go through dramatic changes.
Many of the people that used to work in our plant, they are already employed somewhere else. So then, let's say from about 700, we are down to, in the plant itself, probably half of this number.
Namoczyłaś, wyprałaś, rozwiesiłaś, w końcu prasujesz.
O nie!
I co teraz?
Będę musiała brać jeszcze raz.
Jeżeli choć raz musiałaś prać od nowa, wypróbuj Lance Color.
TV commercials was one important way to reach the consumers when the Polina factory was privatized and sold to the German multinational chemical company Benkisa. Meanwhile, the new company leadership had to automize the production line. With the old machinery, the factory couldn't survive on the new competitive market.
And we have big progress in washing powder production because now we have about 2 times higher capacity, and we started with production of liquid.
Do you think you work more effective today than you did before?
We are selling our product. Before we had a lot of trouble with selling our product, and for this reason we are of course much more effective. Our products are on the market.
Consequently, increased productivity is the reason why the factory has survived in the new competition. The dark side of increased productivity is unemployment. However, the ones who have kept their jobs in the factory have experienced the difference between state planning and market economy.
Przedtem też mi się dobrze pracowało. I teraz też. Może lepsze warunki są na pewno.
It was also a good job before, but I'm better paid now. We work harder. Often the factory is running 24 hours a day.
Jak potrzeba, to nieraz i trzecia jest zmiana.
Besides unemployment, there's another dark side of the market reforms: inflation. The rapidly increasing price and wage level has been a threat to the domestic industry. The only way for the government to keep Polish industry competitive is through continuous devaluations of the Polish currency. The decreased value of the zloty compared to foreign currencies has made Polish products cheaper compared to imported goods and saved many companies from going out of business.
At least in the last 2 years, both inflation and devaluation are fairly predictable. Devaluation is predictable because it's controlled by its so-called creeping devaluation with the maximum monthly rate of devaluation. And government stays very closely within that rate. Inflation, at least in current year and the previous year, the central bank was able to predict inflation fairly closely. So once again, if you can predict both of them, inflation and devaluation, you can cope with them.
Today, Benkisa is making good profit in Poland. The company has 20% of the national market share and is increasing production. Much of the profit is put into research and development at the plant outside Warsaw. Poland is, among economists around the world, seen as an example of how it is possible to change a command economy into a market economy in short time. The Polish example has been seen as a way of changing other former state-planned economies in Eastern Europe. Today, queues no longer exist outside shops in Warsaw. For Polish consumers, the lack of goods is no longer the problem. The problem, as in other capitalist countries, is to have enough money to buy the products available in the shops.